So it's very likely, given the Queen's speeches today, but this comes out tomorrow, we will obviously hear the news that there is very likely a bill on the way to, well, privatize Channel 4. And I've said this several times on this channel, this will be a massive, massive disaster for certainly places like Leeds, where we just went through like a massive, massive, uh, you know, campaign to get Channel 4 to be either like in Leeds or Sheffield. Now, I'd have liked it to be in Sheffield because Sheffield could really use a place like Channel 4 in there at the moment, but they went to Leeds. But even in there, and as we've said before, there's 147 different companies in the UK, creative companies, that rely on Channel 4's business model being the way it is so that they can get their programs out and they can make money. And Channel 4 has proved time and time again it is a profitable model. It is still a profitable moment. It is in no financial trouble. It does not foresee any financial trouble. It has a fantastic digital arm. They really expanded into using things like YouTube and things like that. Before any other national or worldwide broadcaster certainly did. They can compete on a lot of stuff, and they do on so many things. And they put out, I don't watch all their programming all the time, but they do some good stuff. Some of the best films in recent years have come from Film 4, again, an arm of Channel 4. And if you were serious, as we've said before, if you were serious about leveling up the country, the creative industry in the UK is an area you would want to pay a special attention to, because it does bring in a lot of money and revenue into this country. So leveling up things like Channel 4 and giving it more money and to do stuff would be a fantastic opportunity. But of course, as we've said before, the government likes to make noises about leveling up, throwing it out as a good slogan, but when it comes to actually trying to fulfill that promise to leveling up, they have not come even a single bit close to actually achieving anything that they actually say. So before we go into talking about Nadine Dorries's new crazy speculations, as always, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a monetization link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. And as always, there are the YouTube subscription links down below. And of course, the new YouTube thank you button as well, where you get to leave a nice little fancy comment. So, as always, thank you very much for supporting the channel that way. And thank you very much to all the people who do, even if you do just click the like and share button. So, let's go diving on in to find out what Nads has been up to recently. So, this comes from the Yorkshire Bylines with the title of "Dorries Isn't Joking." She said very recently, which is kind of shocking, that privatising Channel 4 will protect public service broadcasting. How is it going to protect public service broadcasting when you are privatising Channel 4? So, Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries has done it again. After her last gaffe in November before the Media and Select Committee, where she confidently stated that Channel 4 received public funding, she has now stated on Ian Dale's LBC radio show that Channel 5 was privatised 3 to 5 years ago. Whoopsie. The channel was established back in 1997, and 4 groups actually had to bid for it. And the pornographer Richard Desmond acquired it in 2011. And of course, it was followed by the US media group Viacom back in 2014. It was never, ever publicly owned, and therefore could never be privatized. When her error was pointed out, she dismissed it as, quote, nitpicking. And to add to this fact that she has dismissed many of the 96% of over the 56,000 responses to the Channel 4 consideration of which opposed privatization, calling this a politically motivated organization by online activist group 38 Degrees. Again, this move is just overwhelmingly unpopular. Why are they doing this? They're doing this for revenge, pure and simple, which we'll probably get into in a bit. So, of course, the only problem with this argument is the bar to submitting evidence to the consultation was very high, requiring specific, detailed responses to questions. I know because North Media submitted evidence. That was also why, at the select committee hearing where she made the gaffe, she also revealed that the delay in reaching a decision was because many of the responses were very detailed and lengthy. The responses were not just clicktivism. And although that is perfectly a valid way to express a view, after all, we all just put across in a box at an election time, and no one asks for any evidence about our choice. At the time of the consultation, there were doubts about the value of responding to it. Raymond Snodney observed, "You could be forgiven for thinking that this is a done deal, and the consultation process is just mere window dressing." Well, now we know. The Department for Culture, Digital Media Sport, or the DMS white paper, titled "Up Next: The Government's Vision for Broadcasting Sector and Sector," published the very same day as the Channel 5 gaffe, makes a very clear commitment to go ahead with the privatisation of Channel 4. In a very upbeat introduction, Dorries writes, "The UK's creative economy is a global success story. Our production sector is booming, UK created content is in demand, and our mixture of broadcasting ecology is admired internationally." She then goes on to state, and again, remember, if you think that is your opening, why are you privatizing? If that is your opening, what is the need to privatize Channel 4? You know? She then goes on to state, "Our public service broadcasters are key to that success. Sitting at the center of this landscape, they develop skills and talent, drive and growth right across the creative industry sector that delivers distinctively yet instantly recognizable British content." In other words, a very convincing argument for keeping Channel 4 in public ownership. Again, those two comments right there that we've just gone through from Dorries do not reflect what they are about to do. There is no point in privatizing Channel 4. Absolutely no point when you've just heard those. It lays out how good the creative, content creation sector and the broadcasting, mix is in the UK. And yet, oh, well, we need to privatize Channel 4. For what? What reason? So what follows in the white paper is a set of contradictory policies which will inevitably weaken public service broadcasting, whilst other policy proposals will support it. So why the contradictions? One answer is to go to the acknowledgements at the end of the white paper. One of those is to the Public Service Broadcasting Advisory Panel. And in May of 2021, the British Broadcasting Challenge wrote an open letter to the then Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, about the panel, saying, "We are concerned that the government is being advised by a panel not set up under the Cabinet Office guidelines, meeting in secret with no public record of its agenda, discussions, or even recommendations." Lord Grade was a member of that group until he was the Culture Secretary's choice to become chair of the Ofcom, after the fiasco surrounding the attempt to appoint the former Daily Mail editor Paul Darcy. Grade was also on record of his criticism of the BBC licence fee and the excessive coverage of Partygate. He also supports the privatisation of Channel 4. So, make sure, you're stacking the advisories in your way. After all, if you want to privatise Channel 4, best to stack it with all the people advising you saying, yes, let's privatise Channel 4. Sections of the white paper are clearly shaped by the ideological priorities that Dorries wants to push. Take the announcement confirming a 2-year freeze in the BBC licence fee. This was announced in January this year as part of Dorries throwing red meat to the Conservative supporters. Here it is justified as, quote, making sure that we support households through a difficult time. Elsewhere, it says the BBC needs to address issues around impartiality and groupthink. Again, the BBC is often damned if it does, damned if it doesn't. We've said this before. A lot of people on the left heavily criticise the BBC for not covering stuff enough, and yet when they do cover the stuff, the Conservatives or people on the right go in on the BBC saying, "How dare you cover that so much?" or "How even dare you cover that?" And then the left doesn't stick up for the fantastic reporting that the BBC does on those issues. But there you go. So the BBC will, of course, be the focus in the midterm review or coming up in 2024. And then the BBC Charter review process will start in 2025. But the immediate focus on this white paper is on the privatisation of Channel 4, which the government wants to do before the next election. One view of this policy pinpoints the inaccuracy and the contradictions of this course of action. Dramatically, the Channel 4 CEO, Alex Moran, publicly released on the 5th of May the networks for the next episode plan, which was presented to Dorries back in February as a privatisation alternative, which detailed the cost-benefit analysis, and it was roundly rejected by her. The document sets out a vision for what Channel 4 can be and can do while continuing to be owned by the British people. However, one positive proposal recommended by Ofcom and the DNS Select Committee report, the future for public servicing broadcasting, is to ensure that public services content is both available and easy to find on designated TV platforms. The speakers are out for, of course, the timely North Media Festival of the debate, the event on Thursday, the 12th of May at 6 p.m. What has the BBC ever done for us? And will want to give their own views on that white paper. And of course, I would definitely, I'm going to see if I can actually attend that, because I'm very, very interested in attending that myself. But yeah, what can we say? Channel 4 first, BBC next. And like I say, they are desperate to try and do this. This is something that we have to try and resist as much as possible. So I urge you, again, please, please, please do write to your MP. Point out what were those quotes there, that Nadine Dorries says that, what we currently have is absolutely fantastic. Point out the fact that, Channel 4 has presented an alternative, which again keeps Channel 4 in public ownership. Point out to the fact that it is not in financial trouble, that it is a fantastic creative institution. It is part of the reason why we have such a creative infrastructure available at the moment here in the UK. The very thing that Nadine Dorries is praising in that opening of the report. So I urge you, if you are in the UK, please, please, please do write to your MP, even if they are Conservative. They need to know that this is a dumb move, that you are not going to support this. And again, like I say, you can either put physical pen to paper or you can send an email. They are both very easy to do. It's very easy to do and find. Most MPs do have their own website. If you go and look them up on the government website, you can find their contact information. So, please, please, please do get on this. And I think this is something where we really need to go out and say and force the government into a U-turn on this. And only we can do this by getting out there and making our voices heard on this. And don't get me wrong, there are obviously other stuff as well to protest, but this is something that will hurt the UK in the long run, because once Channel 4 gets sold off, we can never buy it back. That's it. It's gone. And who knows who's going to buy it. I highly suspect it will be maybe even Paul Darcy of the Daily Mail. I do expect it to go to some right winger, and to say, the amazing reporting that Channel 4 News has done over the past again few years since 2016, and all dating back for years, will just turn very right wing, very very quickly. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me a coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.